Sup nerds, today we have Ragna OTK versus Bagra army. I own the Darwell, so I'm going first. I hatch Koro, Evo into Agu, Evo into Agu X, and play a red memory boost, get my Scourge on. I add the Dorbook to hand. Mel hatches. Evo's into Psychmon. Plays Shotwan King version. Plays you for free off King version's effect. That card is so good for any deck that plays those tamers. And real quick here, he Digicrosses Mad Leomon. This is actually an illegal cross because he requires sources that have Bagra army in their traits. And Gumdramon is not Bagra army. I'm sure it was an honest mistake, but just something I wanted to point out there. I Evo into Flamedramon. Then I play an Agu, get my Scourge on. I'm looking for a Metal Greymon right now. I need one. So it's pretty rough to Evo into Metal X raw. So swing security, draws from Gumdra. Triggers use effect to draw one, gain one when a purple source is put underneath them. Swings, draws, and on deletion saves both. Swings, dies, draws, and saves. Now, where's a Black Ore when you need them? All those delicious sources under one tamer. And then plays Tagiri, that guy for 4 to choke me to 1. Yeah, so these are the decks. Swing with Agu X, check a tamer. Not really a big deal. These are the decks that actually give Ragna OTK trouble. Are decks that are just as fast. Like Ricky Rush style decks, like Cross and stuff like that. So beginning of main, he triggers Taiki's effects to tuck a source and draw one, and Evos. I've like borderline conceded this game in my head, like unless for some reason Mel's hand just starts getting bricky. He plays Calling for 1, adds the only target with Gumdramon back to hand, then plays you to choke me to 1. Alright, and now's the time. I'm probably gonna have to raw Evo into Metal X. Against this deck, it's not too bad, because he's 8k and it beats over everything but the Megas, which are few and far between. So I promote, pop Mem Boost, Evo into Metal X, gains a security attack. Nice swing, draw from Koro, 2 checks at 8k. And so I have the first check and then check a Jack rated pass turn. Probably worst case scenario. I guess dying would be worst case, but second worst case is that. Beginning of main, he triggers Taiki to draw one. Swing security with Soundbird, triggers Soundbird's effects to tuck a source, and then Uomana draws a card and gains memory. He dies and then triggers his Tama effect to draw one and then save, and then triggers the use effect to gain one and draw one. Yeah, this is the problem with cross decks. They've gotten too much support. Like, the downside of cross used to be you would run out of hand advantage, but all the tamers they get just maintain it. So they're a Ricky Rush deck with no downside, which is kind of odd considering Bandai's basically come out and said they don't like Ricky Rush decks existing. That was one of their reasonings for Ice Wall being printed in the first place. The RNT team, having a stroke. R&D team needs a little bit of work. Ice Wall is obviously a mistake being printed at all. Alright, so he plays Bagra, triggering both U's to put up to 3 sources to reduce his play cost. He reduces it by 5 total, plays it for 4. Because I have 2 Digimon on the field, he tucks one underneath the other, and then when that happens, he triggers Bagra's All Turns effect to trash a source to trash the top card of my security. And then play Soundbird to put me to 2. And I hatch. Evo into Agu. This game's obviously over. I'm just making absolutely sure it's over. And that's scoop. And then go to game 2. My mistake there was not just a raw Evoing into Metal X the turn earlier. I should have just done that just to apply pressure and force him to out something instead of waiting to draw my Metal Greymon or an Alterous mode. With this deck, you cannot wait around like that if you draw a slow hand because you'll just lose. Because your opponent is playing solitaire themselves if you're never promoting and doing anything. And basically any semi-competitive deck, if left unchecked, can do whatever they want if you just don't interact with them ever. So I choose to go second. I do want to see that 6 card for game 2. Mel Mulligans and I keep. I didn't open a rookie, but I kept my hand because I have a memory boost in it, and that can find me a rookie. And I'm drawing a 6 card. Smell hatches. Evos into Chuchumon, and then crosses Shoutmon King version to play his tamer for free. Shoutmon King version is a little broken. So I hatch, play my red memory boost. I want to add all those cards, but I do need the rookie, so I Evo into Agu. And then Evo into Greymon to give him his 3 from his memory setter. So he promotes. Plays Mono for 3 to go to 0. And swings. It dies, he draws 1 and saves. And then use effect, he draws 1 and gains memory. Swings with Shoutmon. It dies. He gets to save both. He saves a 1 and 1. Then crosses a Gumdramon for 2 and tucks a Quartzmon to draw a card and choke me to 1. So Evo into Gray X, pop boost, go to 3. Evo into Metal, go to 0, and then play Hero to set him to 4. And now I'm set up to pop off on my turn. I don't have combo, but I can promote a War Greymon and decimate his board while checking his security. Plays Overflowing Power for 0. Triggering his other tamer to tuck a source to reduce the cost. Evos into Shoutmon for 1 memory. Activate Shoutmon Conversion's effect to play tamer for free. Evos into Gumdra and Raising. Yeah, Shoutmon is so good. Like, I would say that's probably the best card in any deck it's in. Swings, he draws a card and he does die. He saves Gumdra and Shout. Triggers use effects to draw 1, gain 1. Like, Superior Mode's a good card, but I think King version is the reason why that deck is so fast, and it can actually kill you super quickly. Like, if they didn't have King version, I don't think Hunters would be any good. Don't at me. Evo's into King version and Raising. This is actually a tell that his hand is kind of bad and he's digging, but I'm a little oblivious to it. I'm more worried about what's in my hand. Alright, so he crosses, and he has an effect on his Mad Leomon armed mode, where if I draw by an effect, he can trash a source, and the source he has that will be trash will gain him a memory. And I do have the draw Coromon, so I know from that I'm only going to be able to get 1 swing. I will be able to out the body, which is cool, but it just kind of sucks because I am going to end my turn as soon as I swing. So even to Warg, get plus 3k until the end of his turn and reboot. I swing, raid, trigger hero, trigger Agu, draw, so I'm 19k piercing for 2 checks. I'm sorry, he draws 2 cards as well. Seems good. 2 checks, we are Gucci, and then triggers use effect when he saves to gain a memory and draw another card. Getting a turn, goes to 3, and then draws for turn. There's not really a way for him to out my War Greymon, which is nice, because he doesn't have colors for Superior Mode, and Bagra only tucks under other Digimon. Swing Shout into security, draws from Gumdra's effect. Does live. That's probably good for me that he lived, because it ensures that he doesn't like draw off of the U and gain another memory, potentially extending his turn. So triggers his tamer to Evo into Superior Mode, reducing it by 1. Superior Mode cannot tuck, he only has 1 color, and I have a level 6 on the field, so I assume he's doing that just so he can swing at the end of his turn whenever he does it, because obviously he knows that he can't tuck my War Greymon or anything my tamer. Then plays a U to give me 3. And then end of turn, swings, then draws again. Survives the check. I Evo into Agu and Raising. I am missing Bagramon to game him. That's all I'm missing. I'm just digging for it. So Evo into Flame for 2 to go to 1. And now I'm just hoping I rip it off of the Coromon draw. Assuming I survive the 2 checks if I swing through his Superior Mode. And I am forced to do this or he just kills me on his turn. So I have to swing through his Superior Mode. He doesn't have material saves, thankfully. So I swing through him for 2 checks at 14k and draw from Koro. I die to the first check. Big sad. Thankfully, I can set up a level 5 in my raising area, which I do. And if I see Dorbic on my next turn, I should be able to kill him. So Mel hatches. Evo's into Soundbird. At this point, I don't know if he has Digimon that can gain Rush when he plays them. I'm just hoping that he can't, or he doesn't have them, or can't play them for some reason. He plays the Taiki, which basically guarantees that my turn is, it's going to come back to my turn, which is nice. So he plays Jack Raid, gains memory, and then plays his other memory setter to set me to 3. I promote. Evo into Metal X for 0, plus 3k, plus 1 security. There's the Dorbic. Let's go. Evo into Warg for 3. And now I Digicross Dorbic. Only have 3 sources, but that's all I need since he only has 2 security left. So he's a 7 cost, and then trigger Flames end of turn effects. DNA into Ragna. Trashing a source, or trashing a security for every 4 sources. Trash the last 2, blitz for game. Boom. Going to game 3. So Mel chooses to go first for game 3. Music to my ears. I want to see that 6th card. This is a combo deck after all. He hatches. Evo's into Soundbird. Then plays Shaman King version. Plays his memory setter for free. I hatch Koro. Evo into my Agu. Evo into Agu X. Evo into Flame for 2. Go to 1. Then play Red Memory Boost. Give him his 3. I add the Metal X. He promotes. Swings from Shout, or swings with Shout, draws from Gumdra, survives a check. Swings a Soundbird, activates his effect to tuck a source to draw a card. Does die, triggers Modimons, draws a card, saves. Hard plays Psychmon for 4. Activates his effect to add Soundbird back to his hand. Choke me to 1. So right now I'm faced with a dilemma here. Do I leave the Shoutmon on the field and let him check my security again for free, or do I beat over him? And I decided to just beat over him, so I Evo into Ultras mode after popping the Mem boost. Evo into Metal X for 0, plus 3k, plus 1 security. I don't have piercing though, so it doesn't really matter too much if I swing over Shoutmon. So I swing over Shoutmon, draw from Koro, and trigger Shoutmon's version. Shoutmon's save 2 effect, effectively. Then I Evo into Warg, and he reboots, so he's 18k on his turn. He hatches. This basically makes it impossible for him to out the Warg Greymon, which is nice. He plays U, swing security, it dies, gets to trigger the U, draw 1, gain 1. And then plays his memory setter to set me to 3. I hatch. Evo into Agu. Right now I'm seeing if I can swing for 1 check. So I swing for 14k for 1 check. Draw from Koro. I was counting the cards in my hand to see if I could drop Dorbic for 3, and then swing with Dorbic, and then end of turn Ragna for game. But I do not have enough different name sources to do that, unfortunately. But I don't think he can kill me from 2 security. I'm feeling a little insulated here. So I Evo into Flame for 2 to go to 1. And then Evo into Metal and give him his 3. He promotes. So he swings, triggers Soundbird to tuck 1 to draw, and then U to gain 1, draw 1. Tama effect to draw 1, save. U effects to gain 1, draw 1. So if he doesn't do anything to my board, and I make it back to my next turn, I have game. Because I'll be able to swing again, assuming I survive the check, and then I can Dorbic Ragna for game. I have 1 Dorbic in my hand and 3 Ragnas. And I have a Flamedramon in both of my stacks, 1 in raising and 1 out of raising. So I'm just hoping he can't kill me, and I have game. So Mel does what he needs to do. He triggers both U's to tuck 5 sources to play Bagra for 4. Since I only have 1 Digimon in play, Bagramon gets to look at my hand and trash 1 card in it, which is pretty broken. So I'm hoping that Mel does not realize he needs to trash my Dorbicmon, but the odds of that are pretty low. He's not stupid. So he does trash the Dorbic, and now I do not have auto game on my next turn. It's going to be a struggle for me unless I see another level 6. And then he plays King version and plays another Tamer for free. Hashtag broken. So if I Evo or add a source by an effect, the Bagramon on his turn will trash a source to trash a top card on my security, and he will gain at least 1 memory off that. So I'm just reading just to make sure I understand the card. So I promote my stack, and thankfully I have the plus 2k Agumon in my stack, so I swing security, trigger Koro and Agu, and then trigger Raid, redirect into Bagra, unsuspend. I'm 14k, no pierce. And now I can Evo freely, thankfully. So I Evo into Metal X and rip a level 6. Very cool. So I swing security again, get another 2k from August. So I'm 16k, 1 check, check a Tamer. And now I'm just counting the stacks. Evo into Ward, trigger Flame, end of turn. Riggedy Ragna. Activate effect, delete the Shoutmon, who cares? Trash 3 security, blitz for game. GG's. Very close game. This is the kind of deck that Ragna struggles with, is just quick little Ricky Rush decks that'll pin your security, but GG's to Mel. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're interested in this kind of content. Want to come back for more. But until next time, see ya.